All right, my friends, Disney Parks attendance domestically was reported by the Themed Entertainment Association in their annual report for 2019 to have not necessarily been all that great after all. So 2019, we did see the grand opening of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge from coast to coast in Disneyland Park and at Disney's Hollywood Studios and Walt Disney World. Obviously, coming out of 2019 and into 2020, there were only a few months where normal operation was even happening, and we did see Rise of the Resistance coming out of the end of 2019 and into 2020 come online for both coasts, so that certainly could impact the overall attendance if things were normal. However, knowing that the Themed Entertainment Association has now said, hey, basically attendance was flat for 2019 for Disney parks, you surprised by that, Katrina?
No. Again, like, when Star Wars opened, a lot of people were like, wait, there's only going to be one ride? And it wasn't even that great of a ride. And then so a lot of people were like, I'm just going to wait, hold out until Rise of the Resistance opened. And that was at the end of the year, you know? And even then, it's at that point, it's too expensive for a lot of people to travel. So, I mean, Star Wars, Smuggler's Run is not that great. I wouldn't have, like, I mean, we went because it was super exciting, you know, but how many times can you really go to that world again? Like, we're going to like repeat ourselves like over and over and over again. You like can go like once or twice. And then at that point it's too expensive to go because you can't, how many lightsabers can you buy?
Right.
I'm kind of with you. I feel like I feel like I was sold a bill of goods on Galaxy's Edge in general. Just them talking about the interactive nature of it and things like that. And I just feel like they actually took a step backwards when I think about things like Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I was expecting there to be just droids and aliens walking around, and I'm getting off topic, I guess, but anyway, I'm just not that surprised that it was flat. It was not one of those things where I felt like there was a whole lot of new reasons to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was so flat that they had to bring back a nighttime parade, you know, because they realized that attendance was really low and they were trying to get people back into the park. So like, hey, we're going to do a nighttime parade again, you guys. It's going to be great. Come on in. And even that was kind of the first night, I guess, apparently was really busy. Like we went on the first night for my birthday. But then after that, it just kind of fell flat again.
Yeah. Kind of crazy to think that that $1 billion investment to build Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which was supposed to be sort of the second coming of all things Galaxy, didn't really pan out the way that the company had anticipated. I mean, no company makes an investment like that with the anticipation that attendance is going to remain flat. Let's be very clear. Garrett, knowing that not only Hollywood Studios and Walt Disney World brought on a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, but also was just fresh off the heels of Toy Story Land opening on top of it. I mean, you had really two major areas in Walt Disney World that were a huge draw, or was supposed to be a huge draw for new attendance and new interest into the parks. What do you make of that?
It's disappointing, and with the fact that I agree completely with Tyler and Katrina in that when you plan a trip to Walt Disney World, you want to get your money's worth. And when the parks are, or when a new land is opening and you only get one of the two big rides there, you don't really want to buy it again. If you would have gotten the full package deal, it would have brought in more numbers. Like me going there, I can go anytime I want because I live in Florida. But for those that live, say, like the Midwest or where you're a little bit further away, you see that things aren't fully finished and you're just, I don't want to do that. I think another driving force between these flat numbers are that a majority of Epcot just started closing, or a lot of things shut down due to the construction for what would have been the 50th anniversary / the years afterward, like grand celebration transformation of Epcot. So there's right now, Walt Disney World is in a phase of reconstruction and reimagining. And that definitely drove things down, because when you hear that, oh, you want to go on this? No, that's gone. You want to go on this? No, that's not ready yet for you. You want to hold off. And if COVID wouldn't have happened, I think 2020 would have been a huge year, because, you know, things are going to be fully open. You'd be able to experience that. But I definitely think that because Star Wars Land was not fully completed. That definitely kept people from wanting to go, because you're going to go once, but like you could have, if you would have had it done all at once, people could have gone twice and gotten to experience all of that rather than 2 separate times. So it's disappointing, but I think it's all because of this whole reconstruction phase that Walt Disney World is going to, or is going in due to the 50th anniversary upcoming.
So you subscribe to the idea that 2020, had it not been interrupted by this global pandemic of a bastard, that you would have seen attendance rise, you think?
I definitely think so. Well, it's tough to make, because while Hollywood Studios would have been the place to be with the new Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and Galaxy's Edge, along with Toy Story Land all being open, Epcot would have been the negative part of it, because, you know, half of Epcot is gone. However, you would have had a new piece such as the new Ratatouille attraction over in Epcot. So 2020, I think, would have done far superior than 2019, just because of all the new stuff. Like, you even have a new DVC resort, the Riviera Resort, opening. So it's sad, but maybe 2021, maybe 2021. You don't know. We're not really counting 2020 as a year of theme parks. You know, it's been closed for half the year almost. So what can you do?
I definitely think that the 50th anniversary year for Walt Disney World, for Magic Kingdom especially, is going to be one that, just based purely on nostalgia, is going to bring a lot of people, you know, hurling in, assuming that everything is safe and things are back to some semblance of normalcy, because I think that is really pushing people away, and will continue to, as long as, you know, this global pandemic continues to be a problem.
True. And I also hope too that they learn that maybe they should when they open these big ticket attractions, that the whole place should be ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think that's kind of why they're not really talking about the e-ticket for Avengers Campus too much, because they don't want people to think like the same thing with Star Wars, right? Where we'll just wait for Rise of the Resistance to open. They don't want people to be like, oh, well, there's going to be another attraction a couple years from now. Maybe we'll just wait to go then, you know? It's one of those things where I just hope they learned that. I'm not saying that's the only reason that they had flat attendance, but it definitely didn't help that Rise of the Resistance was so delayed. Anyway.
Hey, Tyler.
Nope.
I personally am making a trip out just for all the amazing food that they're going to have at the
I'm with you.
restaurant.
That chicken sandwich, am I right?
That chicken sandwich.
Attraction. I want the $5 chicken sandwich that pretty much has the value of 3 sandwiches in there.
It's going to be $5 at Disney?
I want 1,000 calories in one meal right there for a cheap price. That's food is an attraction for me.
Oh, no, I'm in 100% agreement with you, Garrett. Yeah, Garrett, I 100% agree with you. I think that I am excited to go to Avengers Campus for the sole purpose is food, honestly. I don't care about Spider-Man. I think the stunt thing is going to be cool. I like Spider-Man, don't get me wrong, but I don't think the ride is going to be fantastic. That's just getting into too much guessing, I guess, but at the same time I'm there for the food. So I'm with you, Garrett. That's what I'm excited about right now.
That's how Epcot makes half of its money, through the festivals, like Food and Wine, Flower and Garden, Festival of the Arts. That's all food.
We have made trips to Disney World just to do the festivals before. So I'm like, that's like the main reason.
They become a heck of an attraction.
But you know it's going to be all there. Yeah. If you open up a land, they need to like completely finish it before they start pimping out all this stuff, being like, hey, you guys, this is going to happen 2 years from now, but you should still come and visit and ride this attraction first. But like Food and Wine, you know it's all going to be there, and that's what you head for. If they said like half of the booths are going to open this month and then the rest of the booths are going to open the next month, then you're going to wait for the next month to make sure you get all the booths.
True.
Yeah. And what's interesting, by the way, something I want to go back to a certain degree is in the, I think it was the fourth quarter earnings call last year, Bob Iger referenced that he thought for sure that the reason why attendance had not spiked was because everybody was waiting for Rise of the Resistance to open at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So he acknowledged that it was a problem, but I think you're right that we're still going to see these phased openings.
So sad.
With lands. I think maybe it was just a convenient excuse because he had to say something to the shareholders and things weren't performing well after $1 billion was spent. But hey, like I wish Disney would definitely take a look at what just didn't work. And this 2019 themed entertainment report coming out saying attendance is flat is definitely something that I think is very validating to what all of us felt. There was disappointment, in the land overall. While it's a spectacular place to visit, we talked about this in long form at one point many broadcasts ago. You can find it at youtube.com/The Kingdom Report if you want to take a look. But as spectacular of a land as it is, and as immersive as it feels sort of in a grand sense, there's so little to do. And for a space to be dedicated, so much space to be dedicated to one sort of IP, one sort of intellectual property, I think everybody was just sort of anticipating a lot more. And word got out. And to know that, this information is put out there is really helpful, I think, in identifying that sometimes even a company like Disney that we adore, that we love, that we cherish, that we do a show after, can even make a misstep. Unfortunately, it was a $1 billion misstep, and now that they've opened Rise of the Resistance, definitely one of the most sought after attractions. Really, kind of an amazing feat in storytelling for how immersive an attraction can be. But the rest of the land just sort of sits there. So we look forward to hearing about the 2021 attendance figures. We're just going to act like 2020 doesn't exist at this point.
Probably a good idea.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.